home. We're going to talk about the Falcons.
Yeah.
Yes.
Their chances to win the NFC South. Are they going to win the NFC South? Let's start with you, Marquise.
100% yes. That's my team. I'm not just saying that because that's my team. The Falcons are a great team, top to bottom. You want a good quarterback? We got one. Want a good wide receiver?
Great quarterback?
I said good.
Oh, okay.
Matt Ryan is borderline great too. He's top 10 quarterback. So you want a good quarterback? Atlanta got it. You want a bulging defense, top 10 defense? Atlanta has it. You want a great backfield tandem? They got it. Best wide receiver in the game, arguably, they got it. And they just drafted the best wide receiver in the draft to go along with the firepower. So I just think it comes down to execution and just getting on the right page. Once Sark gets on the right page with Matt Ryan, they had a whole offseason training camp. I'm not worried about Julio Jones. A lot of Falcon fans are worried about Julio. I'm not worried about Julio. I know one thing for sure, certain. He's going to come back with motivation and want to win a championship.
I'm worried about Julio Jones because we just seen just barely good quarterback in Matt Ryan get a huge deal he didn't deserve.
Barely just
great.
good.
He's barely great, but barely good.
Barely good.
Are you talking, hold on one second. Let me clarify what I'm trying to say.
Wow.
We're talking about a guy in Matt Ryan who was negative in the playoffs. A guy who helped. He was engineering one of the biggest choke jobs in Super Bowl history. Let's not forget that. I don't know why people want to overlook. And now he's the highest paid player in the league. To me, it's a disgrace. But back to what I was saying. With Julio Jones, you see a guy like that kid. Julio's thinking the same thing I'm thinking on the low. If Matt's getting his money, I want it too. And you know why he's thinking the same way I'm thinking, but he just can't come out and say it because he's not in the media and it's just a bad look to say it. Is because he's skipping out on different OTAs and off-season things for a reason.
Not true.
He wants his money.
What big player hasn't?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying because he wants a contract.
What big player hasn't held out?
Why is he holding out though? Because of the contract.
Because he wants money.
Yeah, but he wasn't doing this before Matt Ryan got his deal. Am I correct?
Oh my.
Because he saw a guy like Matt Ryan who he doesn't think is great, who might not win a championship. I don't think he thinks Matt Ryan's great.
No, I agree with you. I think.
You feel me? Monkey see, monkey do. He saw that big contract. He's like, look, I put out more. Without me, this Falcons team isn't going to the Super Bowl.
I'll say this.
Is this team going to the Super Bowl without Julio?
No.
Exactly.
But that's why we're going to pay him.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I keep hearing the brotherhood stuff. They keep talking about, we borrow the brotherhood. I'm thinking pay him.
Arthur is definitely going to pay him.
He needs to. Open up the paycheck.
I think the contract is going to be more so incentive. 3 touchdowns.
Oh, here we go.
3 touchdowns in the whole season.
That's Sarkeesian.
I think this.
That's terrible.
Can the Falcons win the division? Yes, they can win the division. I think they have potential. And I am a diehard Falcons fan as well. So.
Oh, really?
I am. But honestly, coming into this year, I actually think the defense played better than the offense last year. I think in the red zone, the offense wasn't efficient enough. I think Matt Ryan sort of regressed a little bit. And I understand, having a new offensive coordinator and Sarkeesian, we need that because I'm not saying we need to get a new offensive coordinator, but you need some more chemistry. You need another year because let's not forget, as a Falcons fan, I know this. The 2015 season, we started off 6-1, 5-0, 5-0, and we were looking, the Falcons this and that. Then we lost the next 6 out of 8 games. Yeah. And the Falcons' offense was hot and everything, but then it regressed, and Matt Ryan started looking like he was falling out the top 10 almost. Mm-hmm. So it sort of seems similar this past season. Start off 3-0, lucky breaks, but they were getting close. And then these things happen. And last thing, real quick, when they played the Philadelphia Eagles, my heart broke again. Even though we're the only team that made it back to the playoffs, NFC team that made it back to the playoffs consecutive years, but we ended up losing on the 2-yard line. You had all those weapons and everything that can happen, but I think it's the red zone. I think our red zone offense wasn't great, and also I think the chemistry. I don't know.
Sean, I am so.
But we can't win the division.
I am so happy you brought that up. The Falcons. The Eagles game. I love just that example. How Nick Foles came out. Was he great? No, he was decent. I love Nick Foles because he's very underrated after winning a championship and MVP. Exactly. People want to hate on him. Thank you.
2-3 games.
Hold on one second. We might get to that later. Wow. But let me continue on saying. That was a game that Matt Ryan could have been like, you know what? I'm the veteran. I'm that guy who's going to lead us to the Super Bowl. We're going to take advantage of the Eagles team that's wounded, that doesn't have their number 1 warrior in Carson Wentz. And they didn't get the job done. In the red zone, we can use the excuse, Sarkeesian, this, but veteran quarterbacks can win with any offensive coordinator, right? They can can do it. Everybody has to have perseverance. The team I got to win the NFC South is the Saints. Why?
Oh
Drew Brees is amazing. He's going to be an MVP
Drew
candidate.
Brees.
You're talking about a guy who could throw for 5,000 yards who doesn't need to anymore. With Kamara, when Mark Ingram comes back from that suspension, unfortunately, that's going to be great for him. He doesn't have to throw as much. And last year, they were robbed. I'm not going to say it was lucky, but with the young secondary, with they were better than Minnesota.
Typical Saints.
They were better than Minnesota.
Typical Saints.
And I agree with Cook. The Saints are definitely a threat. Even the
Definitely a threat.
Carolina Panthers. I'm seeing Cam on Instagram every day working out and stuff.
He looks great.
He looks good. So I mean, can they win a division? Yes.
Yeah.
Tough division.
Having Calvin Ridley too, I think it helps because it makes the offense even more explosive. He's a better Taylor Gabriel. I don't want to put a knock on Taylor Gabriel like saying he's sorry or anything like that.
He's trash.
He's
not trash.
He's going to be a great slot receiver.
He's fast. He's fast.
He's going to be a great slot receiver. So all I'm saying is that it should help. But I mean, the Saints, they still a third. Drew Brees still a shark back there.
And my thing is this too. I'm still worried about the Julio contract, his continuity with the offense. Does he believe in Sarkisian? Does he believe he could win a championship with Matt Ryan? Julio wants to win. 3 touchdowns, like you said last year. What the heck?
3.
Julio wants to score more. He wants to play with a quarterback who could win championships. Matt Ryan has not proven that he can win championships. We're talking about a guy who's negative in the playoffs. We're talking about a guy who's lost playoff games that will look like, okay, on paper, they should win. The Rams game, people, oh, wow, they beat the Rams, this, that, and that on the road. Was it that impressive to me? Well, it was a young baby Rams team. This was a young team. They should have beat them. The Eagles team, tough game on the road. The weather's messed up. They still should have won the game against the Eagles.